Good morning, this is Shelby Law with the Great Basin Fire Potential Briefing for Monday, May 25th, 2020. For the short term, we're not looking at too many significant fire potential impacts, really just expecting some gusty winds in far southeast Utah today where conditions are quite dry. Elsewhere across the region, seasonal temperatures for today. The big story comes in the mid to latter part of the work week. We're expecting a significant increase in temperatures region-wide. It's going to get very hot across the Great Basin, followed by some winds for this weekend. So while it may be quiet today and tomorrow, we are looking for things to really increase, the fire potential to increase by the end of the work week and into the weekend. Past 24 hours are very quiet with little precipitation, just a little bit there in northern Utah and eastern Idaho with no lightning. Fire activity has also been fairly quiet with just a few smaller fires popping up again over southwest Utah and a couple areas over the state of Utah, and then one fire there on the Sierra Front. Observed precipitation for the past 7 days is shown on the left, and again we can see we did see quite a bit of precipitation move through central Nevada last week. A little bit over northern Utah, and especially western and central Idaho saw quite a bit as well. So we still do have some dry spots out there, particularly Utah, southern Nevada, and western Nevada, where those areas for the past 30 days are showing much below normal in terms of precipitation. Current ERC conditions are shown here, with many values still below the 50th percentile, especially across the north and over Nevada, where those conditions have been wetter and cooler. Southern and southeast Utah are on the downward trend for the last couple of days with some cooler temperatures there, but still that's where we're seeing our most elevated values. Closer look at southern and southeast Utah, we can see those values are still pretty high for the time of year, especially over southeast Utah, close to the record values, but they have leveled out just a bit with some slightly cooler temperatures down there. Here we're showing sagebrush live field moistures for a couple of sites in west central Utah. Those values for at one site is below the historical minimums for the past 20 years. And then one site is nearing those minimums. So it's been very dry in western Utah, and we're seeing that reflected in our sagebrush live field moisture values. This morning's satellite imagery is showing most of the Great Basin under generally cool west-northwest flow today as that low exits off to the east, and we'll begin to see a high-pressure ridge build into the Great Basin for the work week. So for today, still some generally mild, even cool in some areas, temperatures for maximums today, with a little bit of moisture lingering across Idaho, and warmer and drier across the south. Not too much in the way of wind today, very light over Nevada and southern Idaho, just a few little areas there in southeast Utah and far southern tip of Nevada where we could see some higher gusts, maybe up to 20 to 30 miles an hour there today, with the minimum relative humidities down in the teens in those areas as well. For Tuesday, we'll begin to see the ridge building into the Great Basin, or building into Southern California anyway, and bringing some warmer temperatures, especially across the south and to far western Great Basin. Winds will be generally light area-wide on Tuesday. We'll really start to see those warmer temperatures build into Nevada by Tuesday, with highs in western Nevada to the low to mid 90s and across the south near 100 degrees. On Wednesday, the ridge continues to strengthen and expand across the Great Basin, so warming temperatures and sunny skies region-wide by Wednesday. Generally light winds everywhere. We do see a little bit of downslope wind there in northeast Utah with some stronger gusts, but elsewhere fairly light. And the temperatures really start to increase across the north and east as well, with highs in Boise up into the mid-80s and nearing 90 in Salt Lake. The 3-day precipitation totals are quite light, really just looking for a little bit of moisture, mainly today over the central Idaho mountains, western Wyoming, and then maybe clipping far northern Utah as well, but dry elsewhere across Utah and Nevada. On Thursday, the ridge continues to be the main story, with temperatures continuing to rise, highs in the low to mid 90s Thursday and into Friday. The ridge begins to move just a bit to the east by Friday as we see an area of low pressure developing off the California coast. This is going to really change the pattern a bit, and we do expect to see some winds pick up, especially over Nevada by Saturday, and we may even see some moisture squeaking into eastern Utah. So on Friday, still looking for very warm and dry conditions, but by Saturday, those winds start to move into Nevada. Definitely looking for critical fire weather conditions in Nevada on Saturday, as well as possibly some drier type thunderstorms moving into eastern Utah, with a little bit of moisture moving up into the Four Corners area. And then more of the same is expected on Sunday with continued strong winds across much of the Great Basin, and maybe a chance for some isolated thunderstorms there in western Nevada. Following that very hot and dry period this week, certainly going into the weekend, we're looking for increased, generally widespread high fire danger. The 7-day totals really don't show much past the next couple of days, as we're expecting that moisture across the north, and then it will be dry for the remainder of the period. The extended forecast going into the first week of June is putting that bullseye of temperature over the Midwest, with still very warm temperatures across the Great Basin. And then we're looking at maybe a chance for above normal precipitation there moving into northwest Nevada, and maybe a little bit of moisture moving up from the Four Corners area into southeast Utah. So we'll see as this pattern shapes up. This could be something to watch for. This concludes today's fire potential briefing. Please check back tomorrow for the latest updates.